Check 1, 2. Excuse me. Clear my throat. Clear my throat. Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. Okay. It's day 4. Loomis exercise. Gonna be kind of quick about this one. I'll talk the whole time and explain what's going on. But if you don't have the Loomis exercise, the books, I'm going to be going from the book The Figure for All It's Worth. And I found it online a few months ago, or like last year. But the big thing is that they're selling it now, so you can't, technically if you find it online, it's pirating. So find yourself a copy somehow. You shouldn't steal it, but if you end up finding a copy online in a PDF format, I didn't tell you to do it. Hint, hint. Anyway, excuse me. But you should probably really buy it. I don't know. I don't know if his family's alive or if I get residuals from this or something. We're gonna go to page 38. I'm gonna do the same study that what's his name did? CJ. It's on page 38, and what I'm trying to do here is figure out exactly. So this whole page is about distribution of body weight and how to make something look like how to make the figure look like it's properly positioned, and movement in the mannequin frame. So basically what you gotta do with this book, if you've never seen one of these books before, you need to really go through the beginning. Yeah, see, I did this first exercise. Actually read through the text. Don't just start drawing whatever don't just draw whatever's in the book. read about what exactly you're drawing and why you're drawing it. So like, if you go through this first exercise about the ideal male proportion, you'll see that there's a specific way that the Loomis is discussing on how to build this frame. And it's really hard to draw it. It's like you draw the grid out first, then you draw the body, instead of just drawing the body. And likewise, there's a same for the female. And those videos are actually on my YouTube channel. Actually, let me go back quick. If it's your first time joining, my name is Miguel Coronado. I live in Austin, Texas. You can find my work at www.mciii.net. My username on most websites is Mike086. I'm on Facebook, facebook.com/IIIMCIII. I'm an illustrator, trying to get better, develop, and get some more work. I'm trying to get some regular gigs coming in so that I can be getting some money to live life to the fullest. But anyway, page 38, the figure for all it's worth, is what we're going to study today. And it looks like it's quite a few pages ahead of where I was. So we're going to draw out these bodies. And that's all we're going to really do today. And we'll probably take, what I'm going to do is I'll take the bodies I draw, and then I'll go back and draw some other poses, like random poses that kind of use what I just learned to create new poses that aren't featured in the book. So, once again, for the sake of the study, I'll just be using a regular brush. Just it's a hard round with oops, I don't want yellow. No pin pressure set. Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm working with today. Certain tools I'm not going to use. I'm not going to use lasso tool, wand tool, marquee tool, undo, unless my computer glitches, where like it'll like create a line out of nowhere like that. I'll undo that because I don't want to sit there and have to keep going back and forth to fix things. Anyway, let's get started. I'm just going to copy the poses, and then I'm going to go through and make some new poses, and I might go through the book and do some other stuff. I don't know exactly yet, but we'll start with just sketching out the poses. And one thing we should note is that they're proportionally broken up into head, shoulder, hips, navel, crotch, and bottom of the knees. So we got like head, shoulder, nipples, navel, crotch, bottom of the knees, down here. Cool. Alright, so that's about how it goes. So let's just start sketching out. Excuse me. I'll try and keep the proportions best I can. And try not to erase too much. I don't really want to... I'm not trying to make beautiful drawings here, as far as like the stick man figure is concerned. Like, I'm just going to get the shapes out, because it's all about proportion. So the one thing I want to focus on is getting the proportion down. And already I feel like I'm off because didn't pay attention to that. Actually, let me just do this real quick. So these guides I'm going to try and follow. And the guides correspond with the ideal male, I believe. So they're not necessarily correct in terms of drawing a woman. Oops, I almost forgot to put the... So he's got a real basic way of setting it up. Like, what I mean by basic is that the torso is divided into thirds, if you notice that. You've got nipples, navel, crotch. And generally speaking, the way he's broken it up, it's like equal thirds. Or equal halves, I guess you could say. But from these three lines, 1, 2, and then the legs, this is the knee, 2 equal halves. It looks like, yeah. Anyway, so we'll keep that in mind as we're going along here drawing. Oh, I forgot to do the shoulder line. This is the not the shoulder line, but the bottom of the head. Okay. It's the bottom of the head, which means my neck should extend further, all the way down to the shoulder line. And I am using the shift key to make straight lines on this one. Because I'm not trying to focus on like rendering or anything or creating volume, just focusing on proportion. Hey! My girlfriend just walked in the room. Alright, so I'm doing a anatomy study from this book. I forgot to start my timer, so I'm going to start my timer now. So I can't read the chat if anyone's trying to talk to me. I don't have 2 monitors. Yeah, I just don't want to. My girlfriend was saying I should use my iPad, but I just said I don't want to. He didn't even draw the, so this drawing I'm doing right now, he didn't even draw the spine. It's just like he just put a dot where the navel's supposed to be, and then he went on to the hips. So let's do that real quick. And then, that's the bottom of the knee. So, try and make them quick. I think if you look at the way that they're drawn, he didn't spend too much time creating the images. At least on this page. They're pretty simple. Make sure that I unmuted my mic. Okay, I did. I listened to CJ's stream earlier. I think CJ is getting sick. He didn't talk at all on the stream. There's 7 viewers. Hello, 7 people. CJ's getting sick. My girlfriend's getting sick. And then one of my friends here is getting sick. So everyone's getting sick right now. And then the weather is getting really cold. What is that? A new one? There's a new black female SNL cast member. Is she coming on this weekend? It's been confirmed. There's a black SNL cast member. And it's a female. That sounds terrible.
It's going to be in the life. I should be doing a good job. They're getting criticized for not having black females.
Will she need to do a good job, or should she just do her...
No, I think she'll be in a lot of pressure.
Yeah. There's a new black SNL female cast member, if you didn't just hear that. Everyone stop what you're doing. Go look up who it is. I'm going to be submitting my portfolio to some companies later tonight to try and get more work. I gotta fix my... I will put to sleep. I gotta fix my Spider-Man piece and re-upload it to my website. I'm talking to my girlfriend and the stream at the same time. So if it sounds like... I'm just talking to her, really, and then y'all are just listening. So what I'm trying to tell her is I'll be submitting a portfolio tonight. And then I'll be... Hit the head too big. And then I'll try and get some more work. That again, I don't know why I did that. So, now, what is that? The new SNL cast member? This is a proportion study. I keep messing up on the head. Hey, bye. My girlfriend's not feeling well. She's got a fever. Anyway, everyone's getting sick, and the earth is getting a cold, literally. If you're in one of those colder areas, keep safe and keep warm. Don't go out camping tonight. I'm trying to draw these faster, because I'm kind of noticing, after I kind of mentioned it, I've noticed that these are all drawn pretty fast. And there's no reason to sit here and sketch out a doodle that someone else did. And like I said before, this is all about the proportion. So I think what I'm getting now out of this, what I'm thinking we need to do is go fast and get the gesture down. And that's going to be more beneficial to us than sitting here noodling around trying to get the figure right. And if you mess up, it's okay. So if you're following along, or if you're doing this in the future, following along, we're going to speed up a bit, and we're going to mess up a lot, but we're going to learn better in this way, because this section, this is not meant to be something we really just spend a lot of time on. We're supposed to get the proportions down fast and quick. So let's see, we're going to do like this spine, try and get this in one go. Oops, terrible. Alright, let's draw a new one, and we're going to construct with the same line. So it's like spine, line, 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 line. There's like these like shoulder caps for the deltoids, and then we got line, dot, line, and the hand comes down here, and then you got line, should come a little lower, and then line slightly lower because the hips are the way he's positioned. It's very sassy. Okay, so then we got the navel stops here. So yeah, so the hips aren't even connected the way they've been drawn. Circle for like the pelvis, and then make my brush size slightly bigger. Go. Yeah, so I guess I'm clicking undo now. I've figured out. I feel like I figured out kind of the. It doesn't really say this in the. It doesn't really say this in the exercise, but just from the look of the drawings, these are done really quickly. And to like get your hands to like throw out figure that fast, that's a good exercise right there. And if you watch my first videos, go back in my channel and watch the Loomis exercise 1 and 2. You'll see that I spend a lot of time hashing those guys out. But we're not doing anything neat here. I'm not trying to pretend that we're really gonna make these look perfect for the sake of looking perfect. You know, like the practice is to get the proportions down. And the other thing too, like as you're doing these poses, start thinking about the real poses, like when someone actually does this, and just start. You can kind of lose yourself from the book a bit, and just start drawing it. Like just draw a person with a hand on their hip. Don't sit here and try and mimic the stick figure, because the stick figure is drawn from life. So to sit here and try and like make it look exactly like the drawing is, in terms of these sketches, like it's kind of pointless. Like it's kind of pointless because he's only doing this to show us how the weight of the body is carried. Anyway, so we're just going to keep doing this for the next 15 minutes. Real quick, proportion focused drawings with a specific emphasis on where the weight is being dispersed. If you go back and watch CJ's video, he wasn't feeling too good. He put some music on, just so today you're going to have to listen to this one. So I'm going to try and make it worth everyone's while to listen in here. But that's one of the good things about this, about us doing this, like CJ and I starting this together works out better than if I had done this on my own, because it's like an effort of 2 people versus the effort of one person. I mean, people might have picked up later, like once I started doing the videos, to like take it upon themselves to try out their own versions with my encouragement, but this way, because we both started out together, it's just easier to see that like, multiple people are doing this already, So you can join the bandwagon. And in this case, you should, just because it's all about studying and practice. That one looks really off. This one I drew too wide. It looks like a kid or something. It's a good proportions for like a child or a pygmy. Anyway. Whoa. Didn't mean for that to happen. Didn't want that black line to just take over my drawing. Okay. 2. Ah, jeez. Too wide. I've taken up lots of my image now, so I gotta expand my canvas real quick. And then we're just gonna go into these other poses. I'm not gonna look at the book. I'm not gonna try to copy the book so much as try to get the pose right, get the gesture. Excuse me. I've still got a cough. So let's get going with this. Let's really get into this. So someone's sitting, right? Let's see. He drew a guide, so I'm gonna throw in the guides whenever I see them. In this case, we're just gonna put a straight line down because that's the center of gravity. So try and get those proportions right, because now we have no grid, remember? We have no grid now to guide ourselves, so we're just gonna just quickly make the gestures, get them down, and we'll see after the fact if we nailed it. We might not, we're probably gonna fail. Like I said, that's the point of the study. The point of the study is to fail now, so when your client work comes up, you'll be so far away from failure that it'll be unimaginable. Unimaginable. And then when it happens, you're just going to feel terrible and just stop your career on the spot and just never continue doing work, leaving the jobs open for the rest of us. Oh, wow, I didn't mean to say that out loud. Jesus, okay. Sorry, guys. You know my secret desires. That everyone else just quit. It won't happen. Because I'm joking. I don't want you to quit. There's too many cool artists out there. Just went off on the stupidest rant. The dumbest rant. Okay, anyway. Here's a little stool thing. It's like a podium. Hips could be a little wider, I feel like, on that particular pose. And then, like, I always draw the head slightly bigger than they should be. Something I do. I'm always resizing the head of the character. Okay. Let's keep going to the next one. With one knee and 1 foot. Weight on one knee and 1 foot. So you could also do this thing here, which is like absolutely nothing. Here we go. Draw the line of the spine and the how the body is carrying itself. So yeah, just on this one, let's really, like, if you're doing your studies later, really fail. Really go out there and, like, draw them fast and get the gestures down, and then look back at your work. So you don't just draw it and say, oh, it didn't match. Look back and think about what exactly was off and where you can improve and what you did wrong to start off. That way, next time, you won't have to worry about messing up, because you'll already have messed up. This one, I don't know, I'm not feeling it. This pose looks really stupid. I don't normally draw poses like this either. So it's weird getting this like quick skeletal structure down. It looks nothing like the drawing. If you're just joining me now, I wasn't trying to match the... I'm not trying to match the drawings anymore. I'm just trying to make the gestures as kind of as quick as I can in the same manner that they appear in the book. I always draw the circle for the head, normally. When I'm doing line art, I've never gotten used to not doing that. But anyway, so yeah, I'll be working on this Spider-Man piece, getting it fixed up. Since I got back from that workshop last month, I have yet to fix the piece based on the critiques that I got, and I'm making some minor alterations, so it's not going to be like a major change, but enough so that it just fixes some of the flaws. And then I really like it still. Like I like what I've done with it, so I'm not going to completely alter it. And ideally, once I get some more pieces finished, I'm just going to push that piece out of the portfolio and get on to newer things. Newer things. I feel like the head should be like more leaned in on this one. Anyway. Hands and knees. This one doesn't look suggestive at all. What's happening here? There we go. Oh, what's going on with my pen today? I'm with a brush tool. Hands and knees. In case you ever need to draw someone on their hands and knees looking behind them at their own butt. Oh man, that was terrible. I gotta erase this. Do this again. This is how you do it. Okay, I'm just not failing at this one. Hands and knees, hands and knees. Okay. God dang it, that keeps happening to me. I don't know why Photoshop thinks that I want a straight line. I'm really not happy with that, because it happened in my other version of it. And it continues to happen, so I don't know what it is, if it's an issue with the Wacom, if it's like a common thing, but it's one of the most annoying things that happens, because it just, every now and then, this massive, opaque straight line just shoots through my image. Sometimes it happens with transparent ones too. See, it did again just now. And I don't know why. I don't know why it does that. It thinks I'm pressing shift, but I'm not. This one's not good. I hate this one. This one's annoying because I don't draw people like this. I don't draw people on their hands and knees looking behind them at their own rear end. It looks like I'm just turning it into like some kind of creature. God dang it, I hate this. It looks like some kind of twister. Some guy doing twister. Okay, let's try this one more time. I'll just move on after this. I'm getting focused on this too much. The hips, let's do it like this. We gotta construct it. Here's the pelvis. Here's the tailbone. Here's that rib cage we've been drawing this entire time. And there's my pen making a straight line for no reason. And some feet. Didn't do that right. Feet. There. So I'm noticing is the knees, when he's drawing these figures, they're on the same ground plane right now. I mean, not always, of course, but like in this case, they're on the same ground plane. So whenever my feet don't line up like that, that's a sign to me that I've messed up. I've messed up on what I'm drawing. Okay. The head looks too small. Just because of the lines, but yeah, so anyway, I'm a little quieter now. It's just because this is taking a lot more focus than I thought. No, man. And my pen is messing up. Okay. What's this next one? I'm trying to keep expanding the canvas. Actually, I shouldn't do that. I should shrink my canvas a little bit, just because right now it's lacking a little too much. So I'm shrinking my canvas, and then I'm going to now expand it in order to continue work. So something I'm trying to do is something I'm definitely trying to do is what am I trying to tell you? I'm trying to copy the poses in the book. I don't want to start going into my own poses yet, because I'm going to jump to a comfort zone. So these poses are by no means in my comfort zone. Like a guy standing on one leg just arbitrarily. It's like, I've never drawn that. And you know, there's never really a reason to draw that unless it's like a clown or something, you know, like a circus guy. But yeah, let's just keep in mind, like I keep forgetting too, I'm gonna try and move faster on this to like really not focus too much time on the how long I'm taking. I mean, I need to focus on getting it out there, getting this gestures drawn, and not worrying about the look of the dude. Actually, the arm looks like it's further out. It looks like it's further out like this to me. So, anyway, hope everyone's feeling good and hope everyone's not sick or freezing to death somewhere. Hope you're not freezing to death somewhere. Yeah, that wouldn't help you. But I'm in Austin right now. The temperature's going to get down to 20 tonight, which is not nearly as bad as like the negative 11 that's going to go on in Chicago. So, all y'all stay warm. So, something I'm noticing with this one, first of all, I kind of feel like I drew that leg wrong. Yeah, I feel like I need to make the leg a little longer. But, oh man, I really hate that. God, it keeps doing that. And today it's been doing it the most. The most it's done all day long. It waited till I got in the live stream. But anyway, what I've noticed just now in drawing the dude is that his center of gravity, his center should be, I need to fix him, he's off right now. So like, if I draw a line to show the center of gravity, sorry, I just want to double, okay. His head should be, over. Oh my god. Oh my god, I did it again. I'm getting so frustrated with that. His head should be over here on top of the line, and so should the torso. The torso is a little closer, so I think I should, if I were to like come in here and erase his head right now, which I think I'll do, and if I redraw it, he should feel a little more centered on like oops, no, that's too far. Man, it just is a mess of lines keep appearing out of nowhere. I don't want that to happen. Anyway, I hope Wacom fixes that issue. It's got to be a Wacom tablet issue. It's got to be like this. This kind of issue they've had because it's happened for so long. Yeah, I feel like that's... Oh my god, they erased it too. Man, I think it's also a live stream thing because it doesn't happen nearly as much when I'm drawing just on my own. That looks better as far as like how he's grounded. I feel like too, he should be leaning back a little more. He should be slightly over. Well, so much for that. Handwriting's all messed up. He should be leaning slightly over more to kind of counterbalance his weight. But we're gonna move on to the next pose. Man. Oh man. I think that's slightly right. It just keeps happening. I just keep hating it every time it happens. Okay, next pose. Another one in all fours, so I'm going to struggle on this one a bit. But it's also my second time I've done it, so I'll start with the hips. One. And then we got the other one right here. And then we've got the spine coming out here. Here. Trying to get the arch right. Yeah, it looks better right there. And then it looks like it's like a runner pose, so it's like the legs are like kind of forward. And then he's got like this like little tension in the calf region to show like it's like an athlete about to start running. And then, oh man, God, I hate that. And then, his feet. Feet. Quick gestures. Try and do as few lines as possible now. I'm just going to move on after this one. I'm not going to sit here and correct it. I gotta just get it down and keep going. And the reason I'm doing that is just so I can just keep progressing and thinking about the postures and not focusing on this one particular pose. This is how I'm doing it. This doesn't say to do it like this in the book. It all it tells you to do is it just says the first mannequin frame, and it's showing you the mannequin frame as a tool to develop your drawings and kind of set forth your image, set your image of motion. And if you've read the book, up until this point he hasn't really introduced the mannequin frame, and so he's kind of trying to show you examples of how to use it. He's off, so like what I've done now is he's not really grounded. He's like, he's off right here. We keep moving though. Okay, next one. Person reclining. Switch my brush up. Switching my brush up to get more of a pencil kind of feeling. Looks like Photoshop's lagging behind a little bit. I don't know why that is, but probably because I have some other programs open that I shouldn't have open. I don't worry about it too much now, though. Okay, so we'll get this pose down and move on to the next one. This one, I don't know, I feel like I'm not talking as much as I have in the other ones, and mainly because I'm really trying to get these to look good as I go about doing it. But the main thing I'm trying to think about is just, I'm really trying to lose myself in, as far as like making them look perfect. I'm trying to think about speed. And, but I'm having a hard time doing that. I keep wanting to go back and fix things. You know. But I shouldn't because it's not going to help me right now. What I can do is I can take the notes down that I need to. See, like the one I just drew, it looks like the guy fell over. I feel like the one in the book looks more like it's a reclining, relaxed position. Excuse me. Typically, I don't really draw the with the like the stick figure anymore when I'm actually doing my own work. If I'm trying to figure out a pose, I don't normally do. If I'm with my sketchbook, I'll draw out the head real quick, like real briefly, and then I'll start drawing out like a rough, and then, but I'll make it look like something, not like a little stick figure dude. But when I'm doing the digital painting, I'll just block out the entire like the entire silhouette now. And then from there I'll keep working. So anyway, that's another thing, is that this exercise is bringing me to a different mindset about just the line weight and kind of being quick with things, and just almost like this like doodling kind of feeling. I'm like, I feel like drawing that fluid line is going to work better, even though that's not part of it. But like I said too, it's up to you. When you start going into this study, you might start realizing certain things, and you might adjust your work as you're following along. But in particular, I still feel like the speed is the key to this one, because we're kind of making up gestures, and something you don't. I mean, I don't do this. I don't just draw out random gestures. I might do a practice, but I'll always go back and find reference to. I'll either find reference or take a photo of myself in order to get the actual gesture down. I don't like to just work off a guess, and or I'll do a model. I'll do like I'll sculpt out reference. So anyway, I'm noticing little things like the knee, the way he sketched it out. The knee is further on the farther leg, and then this foot, it only doesn't go down as far as this foot does. Anyway, let's find some new area on canvas to work on. A dude sitting in a chair. Yeah, so I'm curious to see what other people do. Like I started watching CJ's, but he started listening to his music, so I just well, then actually I reminded myself that I had to do my own. So I started watching CJ's, and I was like, oh wait, I gotta do one too. So I came on to do mine. So anyway, hope people are getting some. Hope everyone's learning something from these things, like on your own. If you're not actually talking about exactly what you're doing when you do it, if you're just listening to music or something, I hope you're picking up those things. So like when people talk about studying and like what they're learning from the study, when I do like these quick gestures to try and mimic what he's done in the book, I'm picking up little things like the way he drew the guy sitting down. This line here is like both legs, and then there's a little interruption right here where the first leg is, and the other leg goes out right here, but it's the same line in his. In mine, it wasn't like I did two lines just now, but like it's very similar. And the other thing you're going to have a hard time doing, or at least I'm having a hard time right now, is that he's kind of drawn out in his quick sketch style. Like this is how he blocks out his figure with this little mannequin dude. He draws the rib cage, and then he thinks about the head, and then he draws the limbs very quickly, and that's how he blocks out the characters. But I think, let's see, if I get a blank space, I'll show you what I normally do. If I'm drawing a person, I start off by drawing like the head and jaw, and then I'll I'll draw the pose, kind of like a quick gesture of what they're doing. Like, let's say he's just standing there. I don't even do this really. I start blocking out like the outer shape, the outer contours, like this. So I'm thinking more about the silhouette now, even when I draw in my sketchbook. You know, and then from there I can I just keep really light, and then I'll go in and like finalize things and be like, okay, here's his arm, and I can do the leg, draw the outside of the leg or something. But that's how I sketch normally. So like for me to do this stick figure thing he's doing, it's just not how I work. And it shouldn't, I mean, it's probably not how anyone works. Like, no one does these mannequin things like he does. There might be a few people. But I used to do this stick figure mannequin. I used to do it a lot more so when I was starting out. So now let's just... I'm going to go ahead and do a couple more on my own. There's only about 17 minutes left. So I'm going to do like, let's see, let's do a test. Like a dude holding a sword. That's something. A dude swinging a sword over his head. Let's do that. So we'll start with the head. I'm going to try and stay with his style of like a head, and then hand, the arms kind of go together. Oops. The guy's going to have a sword. Excuse me. And then we're going to have I think the rib cage would be like, I've drawn the head. I want to draw him like this, like he's kind of going above you. So the rib cage would be like here. And then we can make him like he's crouched, like he's jumped down from a ledge or something, and he's like coming down on top of you. Ah, shit. So something like that, right? I gotta fix the cage, the rib cage area. So that's the one thing about his, is like that I guess he'd be looking at you actually, so he'd be like that. Doesn't look as dynamic though. Looks nothing like his drawings too. But let me just practice drawing this guy real quick again. Just practice drawing the mannequin form. But in terms of proportions and posing, wow, that's way off. We can explore this a little more. Draw the head. Draw the neck. So now without the grades, what I'm doing actually. So shoulders are here, and they go out about this far, and then he's got this area here. It's like the rib cage, and then it's like the bottom of the rib cage, pectorals, belly button's just floating. The hips are not attached either. feel like this guy that he's created is like really for drawing gestures. I feel like just because he doesn't even connect that core area where the abdominals are. And the reason I'm thinking that this is like only for gesture is because that area is such a pivotal thing to draw, and like you can make it look so wrong so quickly. It's just that area with all your guts and your muscles. There's no real skeleton besides that spinal column right here. Oops, I think I just hit the edge of the paper, or the edge of the canvas. That's a little close, I feel like. A little close. Let's move on. Next one. Here. I need to open up my canvas some more. Actually, I'm going to shrink it and open it up some more. So, let's go real quick. Image size. Whew, 40 inches. Not for this. Let's shrink it down to 20 inches. Zoom in a little more. And I'm going to open it up just a tad so we can get some more space to work with. If you just started out with illustration and drawing, and you're really following along with these, or if you're just doing them on your own, I'm sure at some point you've realized that like an hour of time is not a lot of time. When people talk about like how they spend an hour, you have an hour to draw something, it's like an hour to draw something, that's like nothing. If you're thinking about like painting, you know, actually going to go back in and paint it and everything. But also those time constraints are nice to play around with, like the daily spit paints. Those are fun. Mine always, I feel like I start off with a really strong image, and then because I'm trying to finish the entire image, I kind of flatten out what's going on in the image unintentionally. Like I streamed the Witch Hunter earlier today, and I started off with just the witch character, and I was really liking where it was going. But then when I added on the Witch Hunter and all the color in the background, I quickly lost I lost that like quick concept sketchy feeling of the witch character, and it looked just a little too much. I feel like I needed to go about it differently now, so it has more of like a loose I want a loose rough render versus a really quickly done drawing, like, you know, like an image that's quickly created. An image that's quickly created with the knowledge that that speed is going to influence the look and feel, versus I didn't have enough time, so I just drew it, and it doesn't look too great. Which is what I feel like mine today was, that Witch Hunt. When there was someone, I don't know who it was, they did like this amazing one. It just looks so good. I can't think of what it was exactly, but I think Alex Konstad shared it, and it just looks like stupid detailed, and not detailed, just stupid, like implied. Oh hey, Dan DeSalt's on here. Monkey Bread, hey Mike, I suggest the strokes are pretty. Your strokes are pretty tentative, but how about bold strokes and action gesture for a single instruction? We used to have issue with straight lines and everything might reinstall. Hello. Yeah, get loose, Miguel. Just diagram purposes, right? Yeah, I don't think he started that way. I feel like, well, earlier in the book he talks about, this is the part where he says, he says you can use the mannequin to learn the basics. Anyway, I don't know. I like these other parts better, where the perspective stuff kind of measure out how things work out. Actually, I mean, I like it, but also like I hate this. Like, this is the most, like, just looking at this mess of like lines and people, it just looks like, ugh, I do not want to do that. But I've done this already. This stuff's good. I did it in a sketchbook. But yeah, and I just wanted to follow along with what what's his name? CJ. I keep forgetting his name today. I wanted to follow along with what CJ did to kind of just see what it was like. But I don't know. I don't normally draw out like that. This is all proportion and construction. So like, the one thing I do like is that his little mannequin guy has this rib cage that has a front and a back, and like, I feel like to start using like a base drawing that has like this rib cage would really help understand what's going on in whatever it is I'm working on. But yeah, I don't like this thing he's doing here where he does like the belly button, just like literally a dot floating between stuff. I can't see how that helps, but I mean, he's probably like any other illustrator. Just blocked out just blocked out the drawing, and then briefly blocked it out, sketched it quickly, sent it in for approval, and then didn't actually do like this very quick, like, thanks for the suggestions earlier, by the way. Russell, I think it was Russell or Monkey Bread. I just didn't see it because I don't have a second monitor, so if I don't scroll over the chat, I don't see anything that's going on. But anyway, one thing I've been focusing on is composition, and also just not rendering out so much, kind of leaving a painterly look to images, or at least in the areas that really don't need it, kind of leaving that painterly look there. Or like it just not rendering every single infinite hair that's available. Yeah. This one, this pose here. It's like just a pornographic pose of like when you're on all fours and you're looking back. It's either that or like a gardener, someone that was gardening, and then it was like, "Hey Ralph," and you're like, "What?" Or like a plumber. But otherwise, it just looks so. It doesn't look exact. I don't know. It looks like a. It looks like sex. It doesn't look like a plumber. It looks too delicate the way he drew that gesture out. I think it's funny. Still life will be tomorrow, guys. I believe so. Hold on, let me double check that real quick. Still life tomorrow, yeah, and then a photo study, then another still life. So this will be fun to go into some. They'll think about stroke economy and like how to best get the form to read without spending too much time on it. I mean, spend time on it. Spend an hour at least, and I think then as we get closer to the end of these practices, we'll have to get the new 7 days planned out. But none of these are mandatory to follow along with. But if you wanted to really follow with what we're doing, this first 7 days were just literally me taking less than a minute to write out exactly what I'll be doing, just to like get people somewhat of a guide in case some people don't know what to study. But if it's like, it's kind of like school. Like if you come into school and they're like, today we're doing fractions, you're like, oh, I guess that's what I'm doing today. You don't really have an option to say no. Anyway, 3 minutes to go. 3 minutes to go. See if we can't draw a few more. Draw something else out here real quick. But yeah, so the lesson plan. Oh, I guess I should link it real quick too. Crap. Let me quickly just throw this in. Here we go. The lesson plan is literally just like a minute thing I wrote out. Oh, Dan, I was going to invite you to this. Dan DeSalt. I'm going to invite you as a moderator. So I'll do that after I get off. Draw through the figure. I'm going to invite you as a moderator for the Google Doc, so if you want to add in your own lesson ideas, you can edit. You don't have to do anything. You have to do it. No, I'm giving you editing privileges on the document. So you, CJ, myself, and Carlton will all be able to edit the document, add on lessons, or like if there's something that you're interested in studying, or something you're like, hey, everyone should study this. It's a really cool idea to study this one particular thing. Then, or just add in like, it's kind of like a Google Doc for like resources too, but that's why I was asking you for your email the other day. I was trying to figure out if you had a preference of where your emails go. Oh, crap and a half. It's not. There's a delay here. It shouldn't be a delay, it's a soft round. Or it's the hard round. Okay. Erase that real quick. Anyway. You'll be a moderator on there. There's 4 of us, so just, if ever you're like, hey, this would be a cool idea, study this. So proportion and weight. Really, I feel like the lesson of this was like the weight distribution, because there's a big emphasis on like where the legs are, and where you're standing. Like if I draw someone like running, I'm gonna have them kind of dashing and trying to figure out how to make that read as a runner that's not like a person floating through space. Oops, that's my timer. The hour is up. Anyway, I'll pick out a better lesson next time. Sorry, CJ. I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean it like that. I meant I'll pick out a more structured area of the book. Or actually, I might try out Bridgman. I've never looked through his stuff before. But the figure should be based on action distribution. The other thing I need to do is plan out some compositional exercises. Creating the notan drawings, or the notan images, breaking down other images. Here we go. Movement with the mannequin frame. This here, like outlines in relation to a solid form. This is a good little exercise. You draw out the outline, you kind of combine things. You turn your brain into a 3D rendering system. But adding bulk to the frame. Anyway, but lots of this stuff, I mean, the figure for me, I feel like I have more information I learn whenever I'm just drawing from life, or drawing from a reference photo, where you can really see how the figure operates. whenever I'm trying to figure out how to draw something in 3 dimensions, like if I'm working with a pencil and paper, I do like contour lines. Let's see here. I do like these contour lines. So like when I'm trying to draw a finger, like let's say this is the finger here. Right. And I wanted to draw this finger from like, oops, god dang it, this point of view, like more head on. I'll start by drawing like, oh my god, like a circle, and then I'll draw the other circle. I'm thinking of this as like segments, like I've dissected the finger, and then I'll come in here and I'll connect the dots, and I'll make the finger, like I'll construct it that way. Kind of create little cylinders, you know. This weird hand with like a one finger just out. And I'll spend more time on it, you know, if I'm trying to actually draw it. Something like that. Anyway, that's how I normally construct that. I started doing that back in like, I think it was back in high school. I started doing that. Like I basically I base everything off cylinders. And when I'm trying to figure out where a head's looking, like I always do the line with the X. And then I start with like a triangle or something. Or if it's digital paint, it's all just tone. But looking at something like that. Oh, that was not so shitty. Anyway. Yeah, here we go. It's just a random set of sketches. Cool, thanks for joining me, everyone. It's already 7 o'clock. You guys getting close around dinner time. I drew this thing earlier. Some people are watching me do it last night, but I wanted to show everyone. It's for the vampires thing. I'll be putting it on Facebook later. But I'm not going to work too much more on this at all. I just want to give everyone a quick preview before I put it on Facebook. But anyway, thanks for joining. Thanks for participating. If you participated, if you will, thank you for your future participation. And keep studying. And I'll plan out a long study. We'll with a longer study, with like either whether it's a photo study or a still life. I'll probably start off talking a bit, and then I'll turn on music because it'll be like a couple hours just drawing. Or we'll bring in CJ or somebody into the stream, and we'll have a conversation while we do the study. So it's something more than just, and now I'm rendering, and now I'm thinking about form, and now I'm fixing something. Because after a while it's going to be like 2 hours of just non-stop, like, I gotta fix something now. Or this color's off. So when we do the long study, we'll plan out a little like a conversation session where we'll be chatting about art or still life or whatever with people. Let me just check the chat quick before I go. Say hello. Okay, sure. How do I save this? Dan Dzal, I'm going to send you a link in the email. I'll send you a link in the email later. Is your study group open to everyone? Yes, it absolutely is. The study group is open to absolutely everyone. There's no... It's not... I say study group, it's just the 4 of us. I say 4 of us, as actually people I invited to the Google document. But it's really everyone. I'm encouraging everyone to go online, do your study on live stream, and actually talk through it. And the only reason I'm saying to talk through it is because your moments that you're kind of learning from are different from mine. And like just now, like people watching saying stuff like monkey bread, like saying my strokes are pretty tentative. How about doing a bold stroke, like stuff like that, you know? That's the reason that you speak out while you're doing the studies, because other people have different, input, but then also like, if you're watching this later, I might have said things that you didn't think about, and I might hear you say things that I didn't think about. But anyway. Cool. Anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. I'm going to throw on some outro music because I like to do that. And I like to make this as much of a production as I can. So this is Cryptomnesia, the album by El Grupo Nuevo de Omar Rodriguez Lopez. He's the guy from the Mars Volta, and Cedric. Both of them, they're from the Mars Volta. Let me open up Procaster. Alright, everybody. Outro music started. I'll go on later sometime tomorrow, and I'll do work with just some music and stuff. But yeah. Thanks again.